Looks good to me. What is up, everyone, and welcome to another video. Before we hit the computer and start coding, hit that subscribe button, leave a like if you're enjoying the content, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see coded up next. In this video, we are on episode 17 of our Hello World series. We're going to be coding up our login page with HTML and CSS. Now, in a previous video, I think it was episode 11, we coded up the sign up form UI. We're going to be reusing a lot of the things we did in that video, the HTML and the CSS, because we already have styles created for our inputs, our buttons, and the layout of the template in general. As always, links will be in the description below to things like the GitHub repository, the live site, and I will see you on the computer. What is up, and welcome to Hello World episode 17 login form UI. Our repository is over here on GitHub, jstolpe/Hello World. Check this out. I have it checked out into my WAMP www folder, Hello World. Also, if you scroll to the bottom in the README, you can see the YouTube playlist right here where it has every episode in our Hello World series. Also, a live site link here, helloworld.justinstolpe.com. We can see the current code live in action here on my website. And once you have the code checked out, you can hit your local box, localhost/Hello World. That will load up our page locally, and we are ready to begin work. Now in this video, we're going to be creating the login page. So when the user clicks the login in the menu, it's actually going to take them to the login page. It doesn't exist yet in our repository, so we're going to go ahead and create it. We're going to begin by creating a branch for our new episode. If we list out the branches, you'll notice that we have a branch for previous episodes. This way, if you want to check out a previous episode, you can go ahead and check out that branch. So we're going to do git checkout -b episode 17 login form UI. Alright, and now we should be on our branch, git branch -a. There you see we are on our episode 17 branch. We are all ready to work. The first thing we need to create is a controller for our login page. We're going to head over to apps, controllers, and we're going to copy our sign up controller over, and we're going to call this one login. And then we'll open that controller in our text editor. This class is our login class for our login controller. And so when the user goes to hello world/login, they will fall into our index function right here. We can get rid of this function down here for signing the user up because this is the login controller, not the sign up controller. Let's update our index function here for our login page. We're going to update the page title to be login. And the rest is fine as it is because it's using variables here. We're specifying our view HTML based off of our controller. So we're going to look in our views folder for login/HTML head and login/HTML body. Then we're going to load our default template right here. Our default template is over in views template default HTML. And this is the global view that things get loaded into. Things like our HTML title here come right from our login controller. Whatever we pass in here, HTML title. Our HTML head variable is a little bit further down, so we can load our page-specific things. HTML head variable is right there. And then we also have our HTML body, which is going to be our body-specific login content, which is going to get loaded right here. Now, things like the navigation bar are loaded on every page, and they're included in this template right here. You see, here's our fixed header, here's our logo, and if we scroll down a little bit farther, we can see the user menu items. So here's our login. We don't want to just redirect the user back to our home page each time when they click login because we actually have a login controller. So we're going to do base URL, and now we can specify the controller login, just like we did down here for our sign up menu item. Now when we click login, we will be redirected to our login controller. Now, back in our code base, we have to create the views for our login page. So we're going to hop over to our views folder, and we're going to create a new folder here for login. In this folder, we're going to create two new files, our HTML body and our HTML head. Again, these two files are being loaded right here into our variable HTML head. Now we have a login views folder /HTML head and a login folder /HTML body, which again gets spit out right over here into our global template, HTML head, and HTML body. Let's go ahead and open up our new views files. And for this video, we can leave our HTML head blank because we're going to be reusing all the styles that we used on our sign up page. And in the next video, we're going to actually put some login specific JavaScript in our HTML head. Then we have our HTML body. Our HTML body is going to be very similar to our sign up body, HTML. So let's open that up right here. We're going to wrap our login in our section container. This class is over in our assets, CSS, templates, default, CSS. This is the global style sheet for our default template HTML down here. It's the container for the form, a border radius, padding, and a box shadow around it to highlight it. And on the website, that is this div right here that contains the entire sign up form. Now that we have our form container, we can go ahead and add our heading to our form. Our section title is going to be login. And this section title is also a part of our global styles because we're going to be reusing this on a lot of pages. Then we have our form rows. So we'll start with our section row. Section row is basically one row for each input field. If we look at the section row styles, you'll see it just has a margin top on it, so we have a little spacing between each of the input fields. Then we can create our input field for our email address. And we're going to put a class on here. We're going to give this our input default class. And our input default class is over in our global styles as well. We have a hover effect and a focus effect. All right, so let's refresh our page here on local and see how our progress is looking. First of all, let's make sure our login menu button takes us to the login page. Click on that, and it does. There is our login form. We have our section container right here. We have our section title, and we have our input field here. Little hover effect, make the background pop out, and if you click on it, a little focus effect to make it glow. Now we're just going to make another row here for our password. This is going to be type password, so the little dots appear when people are typing in it, and placeholder will be password. Refresh our local box. There's our email. Type in an email address here and our password. Now we need to create our form actions. We need to give the user the option to either click on the login button when they filled out the login form, or they can head over to the sign up page if they don't have an account and sign up. Over on our sign up page, our form actions are simply reversed. These can click the sign up button for the sign up form, or they can head over to the login page. Since we have a login controller, we have to update our login href here to actually send the user to the login page. We do href base URL, login. Now if we head over to our sign up page and click on the login button, it'll take us to our login form. So we're going to copy over our form actions from our sign up page and simply reverse them. We have our default button class here, which is over in our global styles. We have our active state and our space blue for it, along with our space blue hover. Retitle this button to login and name this button-login. This is how we target our button click in the next video in our JavaScript validation. Then, if the user does not have an account, we can use our section or class. This div just gets a little margin on the top and bottom, align the text to the center, and give it a little grayed out color look. And then after our or, we have another section row. In here, we're going to place our sign up button. So if they click on this, we want to send them to our sign up controller. Our class GA GA name will be sign up login, because we're clicking the sign up button from the login page, and our label here is going to be sign up. Title this button sign up. So in a previous video, we coded up our GA helper here over in our JS folder GA script.js. Basically, if you add a GA tag onto anything as a class, it's going to look for the data GA name and the data GA label. It's going to send an event off to Google with those two things. This is going to be the Google event name and then that name on Google. And then you can also categorize the event names into labels in Google Analytics. If you missed the video on creating the GA helper, go check that out. Otherwise, a quick overview. Basically, on all pages, we initialize our GA helper over here in our template HTML CSS. In our heads section, our script right here, here is our GA helper.initialize. So what we're doing is setting up an event listener for the class GA href. And when we set up the event listeners on page load, we're looking for all elements with that class name, GA href, looping over all those elements and adding an event listener. If the user clicks on GA href, fire the event to Google with GA name, category, and the GA label. Refreshing our login page, we now have our login button and we have our sign up button. Clicking the login will do nothing because we are not handling the button click until the next video. The sign up button now should take us to our sign up page. And if we want to go back to the login page, we can click the login button from our sign up page. One last thing we're going to check is we're going to make sure our event is firing to Google Analytics. So if we hit F12 and open up our console here and we click sign up, an event should have been fired to Google Analytics with our name href signup login. How do we know that? Well, we can look at the network tab down here and we can just search for Google here, which will filter out any events fired off to Google Analytics. First line item here is just loading of Google Analytics JS file. Second line item, let's see what this one is. Go down the headers. This might be our event click. There it is, our event name, href sign up from the login page, and we put that under the label sign up. So our event has been fired off to Google when we clicked on the sign up button from our login page. Second line item here, event that went off, is simply a page view, because every time a page loads, Google automatically sends off that event to Google Analytics. Now before we go, we want to make sure we commit our changes to our branch. So we're going to do a git add all, git status. They're all looking good and ready to go. And then we'll do a git commit with a message of episode 17 login form UI. Hit enter, and our changes have been committed to our episode 17 branch. Another status, and we have nothing to commit because we have committed to our branch. Now we just want to make sure we push those changes up to our repository on GitHub so the whole world can view them. Git push origin, and then we specify our branch name, episode 17 login form UI. And away they go. That is a wrap on episode 17, Login Form UI with HTML and CSS. Now you can see how easy it is once you have your base style set up for your website to create another page. Basically, we used all the styles we've created for our sign up page and our template right here for our login page. We have our nice little section container here to wrap our form in. That's always centered. We have our title, our nice looking input fields, and our buttons. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, drop a comment down below, and let me know what you want to see coded up next. I'll catch you later.